We had these Stanley Cup finals happen last night. The LA Kings dominated the Devils, unfortunately. Dominated them. What was the final score? 6-1?
6-1. 6-1. And it's all...
I blame Bernier. I blame Steve Bernier of the Devils, who got a 5-minute major. I believe he got kicked out of the game.
Yes,
right?
he did. He got kicked out of the game for boarding.
Boarding,
Which, for
bro.
those of you out there that don't know, boarding is when you take... when it's not exactly checking a guy into the boards. It's when he's not playing the puck, checking him in between his numbers so that his head whips back and then smacks forward into the boards. It's like trying to call a helmet to helmet when a guy's coming.
Okay.
It's such a hard call to make. But the guy, I can't remember who got hit, but I mean, my man dropped to the ground.
Yeah, and he was all
dripping
bloody.
blood onto the ice.
Well, Bernier did that in reaction because, I'm 30 seconds beforehand, Steven Gianta of the Devils got jacked up and there was no call. So you know what? Steve Bernier was like, yo, I got my dues back. I'm going to jack you up. Except normally you get caught the second time when you do it, right?
Of course, that's always how it is. Ask any NBA player that's out there. It's always the second guy that makes the shove or the push or has the attitude or gets on the ref's case or whatever it might be. It's always the second guy.
It always is. It's the
second guy.
It's always the second reaction.
Joey, real quick before we, continue to get into this, we have to give a quick shout out to my sister.
Jamie B?
No.
Another sister.
Jamie B's Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Shout out. My Club Zone sister.
Cool.
One of our buzz girls, a.k.a.
Christina,
who has been stuck doing jury duty for the past 2 weeks and hasn't had a chance to catch the show, but she's been listening to us through the app. And I know when we don't get to see some of our friends in the chat room, we're not sure if they're there with us. But we know she's there with us, and I wanted to give her a shout out.
Yeah! All right, Christina. We definitely miss you in the chat room. Definitely miss you in my life. I love you, Christina. Boom.
Yeah,
Put it out there to the universe.
We love you, sweetheart. We do. Shout out to Jeremy in the chat room already. Shout out to Liz, a.k.a. friend in the chat room already. We're very happy to see you guys in the chat room. We're both extremely miserable with you. As soon as my boy Marty hops in the chat room, I'll be able to get up into the camera and show that I'm a man of my word. And
let me tell you,
I rocked my LA Kings shirt.
I'm in agreement with Liz. At least they didn't get swept, the Devils. That's how I feel about the whole thing. They were down 3-0.
How the series started.
They were down 3-0, and the Kings were looking for the royal flush. They didn't get the royal flush. No. They got a straight, at least.
They got a winning hand.
You know what? Yeah, they got the winning hand overall, but they didn't take the royal flush to the Devils. They made a comeback. They showed you, hey, we're not going out without a fight. Bro, Dor showed you that he can still rock. Question now becomes for the Devils.
Where to now?
Where to?
Parise could be gone.
Parise could be gone. Unfortunately, I really hope he comes back, though. I think he'll come back. I'm crossing my fingers.
It seems debatable because apparently the Devils are a cheaper franchise. They don't like to spend a lot of big money.
They
on
normally
players.
don't, but the way that the collective bargaining agreement is now, it's kind of like it opens up the door for free agency. You now have to sign free agents. You have to.
Yeah, you have to go out there and invest.
You gotta invest. That's why they signed Kovalchuk to that huge 14-year deal or 10-year deal, whatever it was. Yeah. I agree. Jeremy brings up that the Devils got beat by the Kings, the refs, and the media all in one. You're right.
Everybody was rooting for the Kings, dude. Let's be honest here, though, Jeremy. If you're not a Devil fan, would you have not rooted for the Kings? I mean, let's be honest. They were the feel-good story of the NHL playoffs. They got people interested in the West Coast about the NHL playoffs outside of the Vancouver Canucks, hence Canada, hence a country that truly, truly cares about hockey. In my opinion, one of the best teams that could have won the Cup is the LA Kings. The more relevant these big market teams are, the better it is for the sport as a whole. And that's the one thing I will say that is positive about the Kings winning the Cup is that it's better for hockey as a whole to have a team in Los Angeles that's relevant. If you got the LA Kings that are relevant, the New York Rangers relevant, you got your Canada teams that are relevant. The Devils, pretty much for the most part, every year are relevant.
Yeah, they're relevant.
You know, I mean, it's actually a good thing, in my opinion, for hockey to have a team like the LA Kings win it. You just have to, as a Devil fan, the hard part is swallowing that pill and saying, well, we made a hell of a run. You know what? This is how I'm looking at the Devils' playoff run.
Okay.
We got to beat and eliminate the Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Rangers, and we avoided getting swept.
Yeah. Okay.
There are 3 positives right there you can pull out of this Stanley Cup run for the Devils that they tried to make. At the same time, you're like, but they didn't get the cup.
But I coming into the season, you didn't expect the Devils to win the Cup. Not even during the playoffs did you expect them to win the Cup. In the East, everyone was saying, watch out for Pittsburgh because they were so hot. The Rangers. I even thought once the Flyers beat the Penguins, I honestly thought the Flyers could make a run.
The Flyers went up 1-0 on the Devils. Me and you talked about it. If we were recording shows back then, we'd be able to go back and check it out and run the tape, my friend. But
my question to you is, how pissed do you think the Flyers are? Because they traded Jeff Carter, and they also traded Mike Richards. They traded them because they're like, they're the bad boys of the town. They go out and they're partying. What happens? The Kings end up trading for, I believe, Carter by the deadline. Put these 2 teammates back together. They win the Cup.
Yeah.
Atrocious. Yeah. That's atrocious.
And Richards was huge for them this
postseason. Yeah, dude.
Gave them 13 points. He had 4 goals, 9 assists.
No,
did I? Maybe
he has 11 assists. He had 2 assists last night.
Oh, you know what? The stats I looked at last night might have been for
the previous. They might have not all been together.
Yeah,
it's cool because I'm looking.
I got it.
I got the box score right up in front of me. That's why.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I got a lot of stats here, but now that I look at them, they might be.
It's golden.
A game short.
No doubt. It's all good.
Well, I have them outscoring their opponents in the playoffs, the Kings. Okay.
Let's hear it.
57-28.
Damn.
So now if I'm not including last night's game, do you realize that knocks that up to 63-29?
Wow.
So if I'm not including last night's game, I actually can't say, ladies and gentlemen, whether I'm 100% sure on this one. Anze Kopitar gave him 19 points, or I could be I'm telling you, I actually think I might be a game short on these guys.
I don't know, bro. It's all gravy. Shout him out.
I know I got quick stats right. He only gave up more than 2 goals twice the entire playoffs.
Wow.
3 times the Kings gave up more than 2 goals, but one of them was an empty netter against the Devils in the Stanley Cup. So that one I didn't count against him. So only twice he gave up more than 2 goals. His goals against through 19 games, 1.43.
Oh my God, that's silly.
He gave up 28 goals while facing 520 shots. He deserved the Conn Smythe Trophy, a.k.a. MVP for his team.
Now, you realize if the Devils won the Cup, I think Brodeur would have been the Conn Smythe. The way both of these goaltenders played were outstanding. They both did.
I can't argue with you on that one.
Because without Brodeur, the Devils would have gotten shellacked in Game 1 and in Game 2. Wouldn't have been 1-1 going into OT. Nah, they probably would have gotten shellacked.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm telling you, the run that the Kings made was, you know what? Actually, Jeremy, I think Barry Melrose does think he helped win the Stanley Cup. He started building the foundation all the way back in the early 90s. 7 players on this Kings team through the playoff run had 11 points or more.
That's really good.
They went 16-4 in the playoffs itself, one of the best records in NHL history, and that's after not clinching their playoff spot until the 80th game of the NHL season.
Yeah, correct.
80 games in until they finally got a playoff spot. How many games they play?
82.
82. All right. So 2 games left in the season, 2, and they just clinched their playoff spot. Just what a run by this team. Seriously, first Stanley Cup for the franchise in 45 years. became the first team to win it as an 8th seed in the NHL. But the huge penalty was the huge determination in last night's game.
It was that boarding penalty.
Because 3 goals.
Because that 5-minute major doesn't go away. You can score as many times. You're on a 5-on-4 for 5 minutes. So the Kings scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and like 30 seconds. That kills any momentum a team has. I really felt like, though, if the Devils could get 1 before the period was over, it at least is like, all right, we're only down 2. You know, we're only down 2, but no. the Kings were making sure they were winning it at the Staples Center. Congratulations to the LA Kings. Marty, congratulations to you as well. Your prediction came true.
Yeah, me and you, right out the window.
Justin
texted me last night. He's like, so how's that 1-0 prediction you made coming?
Oh,
I'm sure he's out there listening right now.
Jay Hood, that's rough, Jay
boy
Hood.
Justin Nunn.
That's rough.